Well, what a pleasure. And big congratulations out to this young man. Trent Vogelhuber is the new head coach of the Cleveland Monsters. Congratulations. It has to mean a ton to you as far as your coaching career. But the fact that you played here, were a player here, and have come up through the Blue Jackets system, it must mean a lot to you.
Oh, it means so much, yeah. Born in Cleveland and grew up playing hockey in Cleveland and in Columbus. So obviously, like you said, played here as a player for in the Blue Jackets organization and have coached in the organization for 4 years. So to get this opportunity in the organization I came up in the city that I was born in, that we make our home in now, there's really no words I can put into it. I'm just excited to get started. As
you follow a career path and you're a player, and of course you want to reach the highest level, and then at that point, when that comes to an end, what pushes you and what pushed you to coaching?
Yeah, I mean, you don't, as a player, you don't making plans for afterwards because you're so hyper focused on what you have to do at that time. And for me, it was just opportunity. My opportunity as a player was dwindling as I was getting older with some injuries that were stacking up, and I had a great opportunity here to coach as an assistant in Cleveland when they were short-staffed with 2 coaches. So it wasn't anything I'd ever thought about before. I was lucky enough to be presented with that opportunity, and didn't think I'd ever get presented with that opportunity if I didn't take it. So I took it and ran with it, and have really turned out to love it. And
all right, tell me this. Let's go back to a very, very great time in your career when the Calder Cup trophy came home to Cleveland. You were a member of that team. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you a quick story, all right? Yeah. And that is the night that you're going to win the Calder Cup, which was an epic game. Mm-hmm. I am at a wedding that night, and we are outdoors at the wedding. And the groom and the bride, beautiful night for them, right? Where everybody's having a great time. But there is a huge crowd, and I am one of them, huddled around a radio, listening to the Monsters that night in a packed field house downtown. And I said to myself, okay, Cleveland is a hockey town right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's to see the impact that we made as a minor league sports team, right? But this is a major league city, and it's a sports town. People here love their sports and they're passionate. So when you have success, people are proud of you and they support you. And we found that out in full force the year we won. I think it was the biggest crowd for a game in Ohio in sports, for hockey, bigger than any Blue Jackets game because the rink holds more here. So it was such a privilege to be a part of that, and it's part of the reason why we love this city so much.
Why is it that trophies and the battle for a trophy, and in your case, the Calder Cup, and in what's going on right now, as you and I talk, the Stanley Cup, is so important and ingrained in hockey players' lives?
I mean, yeah, it's the culture of the sport is that the light at the end of the tunnel is the one winner and you get that trophy, right? So if we're just, I mean, from when you're a young kid all the way up watching the Stanley Cup playoffs, you see what everybody sacrifices so much for that one trophy, and to be able to pull out above everybody else as a group against the rest of the league, right? There's just really nothing like it. And obviously at the Stanley Cup level, it's the pinnacle, but for us at the Calder Cup level, it was the same feelings and the same effort, and it was just a special group.
When you're coaching the Monsters with the Blue Jackets, the parent club, but when you are coaching the Monsters, are you still teaching at that point to these guys to get them to that next level? I mean, they are one phone call away, one injury away on the Blue Jackets roster to getting that great call up to go to Columbus. And so what is the role of the coach at the Monsters that might be a little bit different than the role at the NHL level?
Oh, yeah, it's constant teaching.
Yeah.
All the players are in the American League for a reason, right? They're trying to get better. And the margin of error is so thin at the top. And the biggest difference is the consistency level. So a lot of the players in the American League can go to the NHL and fill in for 2 or 3 games and be great, right? The difference is the dips over an 82-game season. So for us, the biggest thing we want to do is continue to teach and push these players to make sure that those dips aren't valleys, right? And that a bad game isn't all the way down here, it's still up here, and that we don't see very many of them, because the biggest difference between the NHL and the AHL is the consistency of their games.
Do the Blue Jackets give you marching orders, a style of play they want you to teach with the Monsters so that when a player does make the jump up to Columbus, they're ready to go? They know how the Blue Jackets are going to play because that was the system they were playing here.
Yeah, no, we'll play the same systems for the most part as the Blue Jackets do, and it works out. I played for Brad Larson as a player, who's now the head coach of the Blue Jackets. So a lot of the way what I believe about the game and the way I see it, that's what he teaches as well. And he's so great at his communication line is open. We constantly talk to each other, and this summer we'll be in contact as he develops those systems. We'll be able to be there and listen and put some input in as well. He's really great about that. So, but we do keep those, the systematic and tactical things pretty similar, because so when a player goes up, he has nothing else to think about except for him playing well.
Where is the organization now? Where are the Blue Jackets right now? I mean, it seems as though they got a lot accomplished this year on the road back up. They did some business the other day, made a big signing,
Yep.
Redid a player's contract. A guy from Ohio,
Yeah.
right? A guy from Ohio. Where are they right now as far as in the structure of pushing their way back into the playoffs and making a run at it?
Well, I mean, I think going into this year, expectations were low for them with roster turnover and a lot of young, one of, if not the youngest team in the National Hockey League. So they were expected to finish there in the bottom three, and they were the first or second team out of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, right? So obviously not the goal, but overachieved, and that gave that group a lot of confidence. They're adding pieces. Those young players are now a year older. So I expect that group within 1, 2, 3 years to not only get back to the playoffs, but to be able to make a push there. And I know that Brad and their coaching staff is the right group to do that.
Why are hockey guys such good guys? Top to bottom, they are good guys. I mean, we deal with athletes who you have to make appointments to get an appointment with an agent, to get an appointment with the player. Not so with hockey guys. And I mean,
we got you fooled. We got you fooled then, Jim, I guess. No.
They're just good guys.
I think the biggest thing is to have success in the sport, kind of what we were talking about earlier with the Stanley Cup playoffs. You really have to put the group ahead of yourself, because it's such a team game. It happens so fast. One player, even the best player, isn't necessarily a make or break for the team. It is the team, truly. So it's just, again, in the culture, ingrained in the culture, that everybody before yourself, and his success is my success. And I suppose that has something to do with it.
I'm going to put the cart way in front of the horse here.
Sure.
Okay? Because this job that you now have has been a launching point for guys to end up behind the bench of NHL teams with great success.
Yep.
Out there, is that a goal?
You know what? It's the goal. National Hockey League is always a dream.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a goal of mine. I'm not looking out into the 3 to 5 year plan, hoping to be in the National Hockey League. This is my first opportunity as a head coach. The only thing I'm looking at, it sounds cliche, is this next season ahead of me. And, it's one day at a time for me. I'm building this summer, and we're building as a group into the season and beyond. But the National Hockey League is there. It's everybody in the American League's goal, from trainers to coaches to players, to be in the National Hockey League. But my goal is to have success here in Cleveland. I love it here. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. I want to win here for the great fans. And so that's what I'm pouring all of my energy into right now.
Trent, congratulations. I'm really happy for you. Thanks for spending
Jim.
some time with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you ringside next year.
Absolutely. Thank you.